What's up, y'all? It's Minister Erskine Gibson, the modern day prophet, here to do another video. And this video is going to be called Outer Space Equals the Space Between the Atoms in a Cell, and why I don't think we ever landed on the moon. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about outer space and what it actually is, and the best way that we're going to be able to put it all together. And I'm also going to talk about why I don't think we ever landed on the moon. And no, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and this is not a conspiracy. I'm going to give y'all scientific evidence and scientific proof why I don't think we ever landed on the moon. And that's what I'm going to talk about. So I guess let's get started with outer space, and why all outer space is the space between the atoms in a cell. That's exactly what it is. And the reason why we're going to have to start looking at it like that is because, like, I'm real big into science. I read science articles every chance I get. You know what I'm saying? Every time they find a new star, they find a new planet, I'm on it. And I know a lot of people like that. You know, I got a cousin who I talk to about this stuff all the time, and he's on it. He's always very interested when he hears about a new planet or a new star. The problem is, this is the problem. We're only getting little bits and pieces of information, not enough to put anything together. In fact, I'm gonna go so far as to say, I don't even think these people are actually finding new stars or new planets, not in terms of taking pictures of them. What they're doing is they're using mathematics to make predictions, and they're predicting the star or the planet that they think is there based on their calculations. So a lot of the times the information is not always accurate. Now, for instance, we have another solar system. In fact, the closest solar system to us is Proxima Centauri, this part of Alpha Centauri. Now, understand, even though that's the closest solar system to us, we can't even get a complete picture of Proxima Centauri or Alpha Centauri, and they're the closest solar system. I know what's there, and I've told y'all what's there in several of my videos. I know exactly what Proxima Centauri is, and I know exactly what Alpha Centauri A and B is. But that's based on predictions. You know, I based that on other conclusions that I made, and I can tell you with 100% certainty that what I said is accurate, unlike the stuff these scientists are giving you. And basically what I'm really trying to tell y'all is, every time they find a new planet, they're missing the other pieces of the solar system, because there's not going to be a planet without a star. So if they find a planet, a star has to be there. And more than likely, you know, it's going to be either one star or one planet or multiple planets revolving around a star. So if we find a star and don't hear anything about any planets, you know, either an atom is just forming, and that's the way it forms, or they're not giving us the complete picture. And that's the problem. Every time they find a planet, there should be a star there, and every time they find a star, there should be planet or planets there. But that's not the picture we're getting. So that's what I'm saying. We have to start. Now, unfortunately, the technology is also not there for us to see on the atomic level. And what that means is we can't see an atom under a microscope. It's too small. We don't have a way to see anything that small. Now, I think the technology is going to be easier for us to figure that out, how to see something as small as an atom, as opposed to thinking that we're going to be able to get a complete picture of something in the universe. Not while we're here on planet Earth. Now, if we do what I said and leave planet Earth and leave the solar system, that may give us a better vantage point of some of these other bodies in the universe, including our own solar system. Let me tell you this. Our own solar system, we do not have a picture, an accurate representation of what our solar system actually is. There is no pictures of it in real time. Meaning, actually, because you know the solar system is not stationary, it moves. It moves pretty fast. So I don't even think we have a way to take a picture of our entire solar system, or even just the sun and the planets revolving around it in real time. Saying what Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Earth, Venus, Mars, and Mercury actually look like and how they actually revolve around the sun. Because if we did, that's exactly what an oxygen atom looks like. Our solar system is an oxygen atom. And if we actually could see how it operates, the full picture of it, real time, we will see exactly what an oxygen atom is. I've also mentioned Alpha Centauri. If we ever could see a complete picture of that, we will see exactly what a water molecule is. Do y'all follow me? What I'm trying to tell y'all is all of this stuff in the universe is stuff that exists within us. Our universe is a biological cell. So everything that's in a cell, the proteins, the molecules, the atoms, it's all within us. That's the exact same thing that's in our solar system. So if we can figure out how to navigate the 100 trillion atoms that exist within the cell in our body, we'll be able to figure out how to navigate the 100 trillion stars that exist in this universe. I hope y'all follow what I'm saying. The cell that exists in us, and now understand this, there are 100 trillion cells in a human body. So that means this cell is connected to at least 100 trillion other cells, or possibly significantly more than that. So if you want a multiverse, there's your multiverse right there. We all have multiverses within us. At least 100 trillion universes within us. And understand this, that it's just not on this level, on all levels. That was the whole point of me showing y'all the infinity line with the -1, +1 being balanced by 0. That shows you that matter can be infinitely big or matter can be infinitely small. Matter being us, things that are created, things that are in existence. So the same oxygen atoms that exist within us also contain life like us. Maybe not exactly like us, maybe not human, but it takes life to make an oxygen atom work. It takes life to maintain the oxygen in the oxygen element. That's how oxygen atoms work. And they also appear to have a carbon element attached to them as well, because that's what Venus is, a carbon element. So, if we really want to figure out how to travel through outer space, if there's any type of wormholes or something that exists within outer space, or some other kind of way to travel to get us from point A to point B quicker than the speed of light, we have to figure it out inside of us. That is going to be the easiest way to figure out how to move around space, by figuring out how to move around, well, not us moving around, but how things could move around the atoms inside of the cells in our body. So, that's all I really can say about that, and hopefully y'all can follow what I'm saying. I really hope y'all can. Now, I also want to talk about, before I even get to the moon, and I'm getting to that next, but I just wanted to talk about one other thing that's really baffling me, because I know that these scientists are not always truthful. And sometimes it's not that they're intentionally being deceptive, they just don't know. But they still want to put something out there. So they put out like half pieces of information or quarter pieces of information. But the one thing that's really baffling me is Voyager 1. We have the 2 probes out there in space, Voyager 1 and 2. Both of them are predicted to leave our solar system. Now, Voyager 1 has been traveling for about, 20 years, I think? 20, 30 years? I think 20 years. And I think it's traveled like 150 billion miles from Earth. But somehow, it's still trapped within the sun's gravity. That's what everything I'm reading is saying. Now, this is baffling to me, because as I understand it, I thought the sun was on the inside of the solar system and the planets revolved around the sun. So if the Earth is on the outside of the sun and Voyager 1 has gone 150 billion miles from Earth, how could it still be caught in the sun's gravity? Understand, the sun's gravity is what causes the planets to rotate around it, the power of its gravity. So how could the Voyager still be trapped in the sun's gravity? I could have seen if they would have said one of the outer planets like Neptune or Uranus, if it was trapped in that. How could it be trapped in the sun's gravity? This makes no sense to me. If it's been traveling all this time away from the solar system, why would it still be trapped in the sun's gravity? I want to tell y'all something else that's peculiar to me. They said they turned off all of the cameras on the Voyager 1 and the Voyager 2 so that they could use it more towards other operations. Now, how much operational power does a camera take unless it's taking pictures all the time? Why would they need to shut off the cameras? That also makes no sense to me. And actually, there was one other thing that I thought about that just slipped my mind about the Voyager 1, but this is just, why? Now, one other thing that makes no sense to me, why would they not have pointed Voyager 1 and 2 towards Alpha Centauri? Because everything I read said it's not pointed in that direction. But if it's pointed in any direction away from the solar system, I just don't see how it would still be trapped within the sun's gravity. That is just not making any sense to me whatsoever. So maybe somebody watching the video can explain it. You know, please, intelligent explanations only. I'm not in the mood for no stupidity. I'm just not. If you're an idiot, man, please stay away from this channel. I got another channel, Erskine the Prophet. Go mess with that channel. I deal with stupidity on that channel, but I'm keeping only intelligent responses on Church of the Enlightened channel. So for this channel, only intelligent responses, please. But anyway, I'm truly baffled about Voyager 1, and I'm really starting to wonder if there even is a Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. And that's actually what's going to take me into the last part of the video, why I don't believe we ever landed on the moon. Because they lied to us, evidently. So, let me give you the scientific reasons why I don't think we did. First off, I imagine that there is an incredible amount of dust all over the moon. I'm talking pockets of dust 10, 20 feet. So, I wondered how the heck could we land a ship on the moon and it not get trapped in all of that dust? You know, and how would we even be able to walk across the moon and not get trapped in all of that dust? Now, there is a Chinese rover that's on the moon now. You know, a rover from China, I should say. And somehow, you know, if that's not a lie, I really don't know what to believe at this point from these people. You know, if it really is on the moon, then, you know, I guess maybe there is a way. Maybe I'll give them a pass and say somehow they just happened to land on the right part of the moon. It wasn't covered in 10 feet of dust, you know, and they didn't walk on that part of the moon. You know, I'm going to give them a pass. That kind of really doesn't make sense to me either, but I'm going to leave that as a question mark for right now. And going to the next point is the one I'm having trouble believing anybody ever landed on the moon. Now, understand that the moon does not have an electromagnetic field like the Earth. That means that the moon has nothing to protect it from the sun or from space or from anything. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to protect it. So I would imagine that the moon would be highly, highly radioactive. Highly radioactive. First off. Second, the temperatures on the moon are very extreme compared to Earth. We're talking negative 200 plus below Fahrenheit and negative 200 plus above Fahrenheit. Temperatures that human beings can't survive in. So somebody had actually asked the question when I was doing some research on Google for this, and somebody had asked the question, how did astronauts survive on the moon, survive the temperatures? And the answer that was given was that their suits were made of some sort of reflective material that reflected the light back. Now, that right there, that answer. Oh, and something about them standing on the moon also has something to do with them being able to withstand these extreme temperatures. And that answer right there, either that answer was totally bogus or it further cements how I know these people are full of crap and we never landed on the moon. Because even if somehow they had, now to keep in mind, this was in the 60s. You know, this was in the 60s. And even if they had the technology to make suits that can reflect light from the sun, that still doesn't have anything to do with the actual temperature on the moon, which is going to be the surface temperatures on the moon. Meaning it's going to be incredibly cold on parts of the moon and incredibly hot on parts of the moon. So how could a suit that reflects light have anything to do with dealing with the temperatures and the radioactivity of the moon? Makes no sense. Answer totally bogus. So that tells me that there's no way that a human could have survived the temperature on the moon. There's no way. It's impossible. And I'm not buying that they did because the suit reflected light. And if they would have touched the ground, the shoes probably would have melted on part of the moon and would have froze on the other part of the moon. So I'm sorry, man, that's just totally bogus. But it doesn't stop there. I'm just getting started. Let me go on to the next reason why I don't think we could have landed on the moon. As I said, the moon has no electromagnetic field. So that means it has no oxygen and no atmosphere. So how could we get enough combustion to give a ship enough power to lift off from the moon when there's nothing there to combust? How is that possible? How could we have gotten an ignition when there's no atmosphere on the moon? I need somebody to explain that. So how were our ships actually able to take off from the moon? That's what I need somebody to explain to me, because that also makes no sense. Now, lastly, think about this. China, I mentioned how China sent the rover to the moon. Now, seeing as how China is trying to keep up with Europe and us and Russia and do everything that we've done, and all the money and resources that China has at its disposal, why would China not have sent a man to the moon if it was possible to send a man to the moon? Think about that. Why would China not have sent a man to the moon? The answer is because it's not possible to send a man to that radioactive ball in space. Honestly, it's no point to even go to the moon. The only purpose of the moon is to maintain a gravitational relationship with the Earth that stabilizes our seasons, our atmosphere, and everything else. It balances Earth. The moon helps to keep Earth balanced. That's the purpose of the moon. That's it. There is no life there. There is nothing there. There's absolutely nothing on the moon. There is no reward in going to the moon, yet there is very high risk. Like I said, honestly, if we actually did land on the moon, man, there's a very good chance, our people could die as soon as they landed, because they might end up in a freaking a dust tunnel, a 10-foot dust tunnel. So it's very, and not to mention, like I said, the radioactivity and the temperature. It's just no risk. I mean, there's no reward going to the moon. There's no reward visiting any of the planets in this solar system. There is none. There is no life there. The only other planet that has an electromagnetic field that keeps an atmosphere is Venus. But Venus is obviously not livable by anything on this planet, because the temperatures fluctuate between 7 and 800 degrees Fahrenheit. So Venus is not an option. It's too hot. Anything will melt that we put there. So understand, there is nothing in the solar system worth visiting. We can't visit Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter, or Saturn. We can't visit those planets. And there is, and Venus. So that's 5 gone. And there is no point to visit Mercury, Mars, or I feel like I'm forgetting one. We're the other planet. I'm sorry. We're the other planet. So there is no point to visit Mercury or Mars. There's nothing there. There's nothing there but dirt. That's all it is. And even if you want to talk about Pluto, we talk just another little icy planet. Nothing but ice. So there is nothing, unless we want to go to the moon and train for how to visit planets, which, will be virtually impossible for a very, very long time. So there is no point to going to the moon. I mean, there's not even any resources to take on the moon. Now, maybe there's resources on Mars, Mercury, but, it's still a very, very high risk versus very, 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 very low reward. The only thing we really should be focusing on is how to build ships to take us off of this planet, make it past, I guess what would be the sun's gravity, whatever we got to get through, and make it out of this solar system. That's what we need to be focused on. That's what we need to be doing, getting out of the solar system. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, we can, once we're out of here, we can figure out what's going on and what planets we can get what from, and if we need to get resources, you know, whatever. But, man, our priority should be leaving this planet and leaving this solar system. But anyway, y'all, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I just kind of wanted to talk about outer space and what it actually is. And the best way we're going to figure out how to navigate through it, you know, it's not going to be trying to take pictures of a sun here, a star there. Understand, we don't have a camera that can see a million light years away. We just don't. That's what I'm saying about these people making predictions. They're predicting what's there. They're not saying anything. You know what I'm saying? Voyager 1 baffles. I have no idea what's going on with Voyager 1 or 2, or if they even really freaking exist. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they do exist, but please somebody explain to me how Voyager 1 is still trapped in the sun's gravity. I gave you several reasons why I don't think we landed on the moon. Man, you know, believe what you will. You know, I really don't care. You can believe me or believe the next man. It's on you. But yeah. And on that note, please like the video, y'all. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to bring y'all info, knowledge, wisdom like nobody else can. Man, look at my videos. There is nobody on this planet like me. And there never has been anybody on this planet like me. I am the modern day prophet. And yeah, I haven't forgot about y'all Jehovah's Witnesses. I put the war on hold for a second to talk about something that's actually important, what I talked about in this video. But I will be getting back to y'all. I have not forgotten. And it's not over. It's on. But anyway, y'all, leave your thoughts and comments. Y'all got any questions? Man, I would really like to hear what y'all think about the things I said in this video. I really, really would. And everybody, thank you for watching the video. I love all of y'all. Everybody stay safe, stay strong, stay healthy. Peace.